Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back. Citizen Sleeper. In the last episode we got screwed. We got screwed hard. The sidereal horizon people stabbed us in the back. Didn't see it coming, but we have to wait 3 days for Lemon Mina, find out what's going on there. And anything else happening? The merchant freighters over here. What do they sell? They sell AI things, right? Yeah, ship mine fragments. Should I buy a ship mine fragment so I can build one? You know what, let's do it. Just because if I need one and I don't have it, it's going to be annoying. I really should haggle over the prices here. Oh, he gives me a discount? Oh well. I can get more of them as well, I guess. Whoops. Did not mean to press escape. My bad. So now I can actually build it, right? At the Ort Exchange? The Ort Fabricator. Here we go. Let's build ourselves a ship mine. Watch now, as I need ship mine fragments. Very funny, wouldn't it? There we go. We have a ship mine core. Don't know what I need it for, but we've got one. Let's go carry on helping people at the flotilla, I suppose. That's what we were doing, weren't we? Until Lemon Mina needed us. We're still waiting on our Avery, as always. Yeah. Let's go help them. I'm going to do the engineering check on the off chance that we get scrap that I can then use to repair my condition. Let's use the 6, I guess. Oh, it seems like a waste, doesn't it? What do I get for a 5? 50-50? Let's see what happens. Maybe we'll get a +2. We did. Nice. You take a handful of jobs and work through them, sharing tips and chatting with the crews. You can feel them warming to you. Let's use the 6. Let's just finish the access assistance. Sleeper! Peter calls to you as you cross the axis. He is standing by the same railing as you saw him at last time, and he beckons you over. I've been hearing things. He gives you a sidelong look. Good things? Peter smiles. Mostly. He rubs his hands together nervously. You wait for him to speak. You know, on Song, I was a teacher. He glances at you, anticipating a response. Really? Peter sighs. That sounds so surprised. Mechanical engineering. It's an essential subject on a moon where a single mechanical failure could mean deaths of hundreds. He looks at the ground. The heat, the atmosphere, the radiation, all of it is hostile to us. My students knew this. Their work, their training was respected. As long as they were careful and respected Song themselves, they could have their choice of colony placement. They were always in demand. That meant I was respected, surrounded by friends and colleagues, always able to call in favours and repay them like for like. He frowns. Song colonies are small, close-knit. We look after our own. When the flux events started hitting, colonies went dark overnight. We all knew what those kind of failures meant. Like always, we lost more people than any of the other moons. He balls his hands into tight fists. Not a single one of my students left Song. Our future was cut off, just like that. My future. He flexes his hands. What am I out here? What use am I? Song is a fading memory, and the systems we built there are useless outside of its orbit. How am I supposed to move on from here? He looks at you. Eyes steely grey and glinting. Find someone to teach? Peter pauses, thinking. You don't give up, do you, Sleeper? You just keep going. Peter shakes his head. You remind me of a student of mine. One who entered the program from one of the smaller colonies. They didn't have the advantage of some of the others, but they were stubborn. Stubborn as hell. By the end of the program, they were the most skilled of their peers. They didn't get the best assignment, Maybe because they didn't spend much time making the kind of connections that would help you get there. But that didn't matter, because I knew they would make the best of anything they set themselves to. Peter is smiling now, buoyed up a little by memory. Singers are stubborn, Sleeper. We aren't going to change easily. We won't forgive easily or take help easily, but we'll hold strong. You can count on us for that. Peter stands from the railing. When you see Sol again, you can tell him that. You can tell him how the crews of the Ember's song operate. Tell him we will resist. If that means resisting Hearth's imperialistic ambitions, so be it. If it means resisting the flux, so be it. And if it means to, as you have, help others resist those same pressures, so be it. Peter smiles, and then tell him to leave us alone. He turns, his step lighter, and heads off toward the center of the Axis's hub. I guess that means I got his support. Which is seemingly incredibly useful. Yes, we can go back to Sol and talk to him about having united all of the members of Flotilla. When you arrive at the bridge of the Pilgrim Seed, Sol is waiting for you. You wouldn't believe the messages that have come through here in the past few cycles, Sleeper. He smiles. The ship from Steppe has sent a goodwill gesture. A whole cache of supplies from their own farms. He smiles. I'm not sure how we'll use them, but the gesture is a welcome one. Some, meanwhile, are apparently accepting supplies again, although a little reticently, if I may say so. Sol smiles. I didn't expect them to change anytime soon, it should be said. And what I'm wondering, Sleeper, is what part you had in all of this? Sol eyes you, waiting for an answer. I helped where I could. I've come to expect that of you, Sleeper. He smiles. You look at Sol, his eyes bright and eager, and wonder what he sees in you. Are you a tool to be used, or an ally? It can be hard to tell. I want to show you something. Sol squeezes your shoulder, turning you to face the lift. He leans you along the axis of the ship towards the engines, the clanking of his suit accompanied by the constant hammering and welding that fills the echoey bulkheads of the Pilgrim Seed at all hours. With the cordon lifted and shuttles able to go out to salvage scrap and barter for supplies, the ship has become a place of transformation, moving towards some state yet to be revealed to you. You look at Sol. What is his plan here? What is he preparing the Pilgrim Seed for? Or are his sharp eyes simply focused on making it through the next cycle? Suddenly, Sol stops in front of a huge bulkhead door, like the seal on the front of a dry dock hangar. He signals to someone in a cabin high up, attached to the wall, and they begin the process of opening it up. The Pilgrim Seed was built as a short-range freight carrier, you know. The amber warning lights on the bulkhead doors send spinning shadows across Sol's face. We built it to ship the entire harvest from thousands of farms to the silos of Passereau. When we realised we'd need to leave it, it was the biggest ship we could muster. Sol raps on a metal plate. And somehow, she carried us all the way out here. You led the evacuation? Me? He laughs. Not even close. I was a farmer. Had a whole load of land and people to run it. And my people helped convert this place for the long trip. He looks at his feet. Others led, organised the evacuation, and debated the plan. What happened? Not one of those folks made it. Sol rubs his forehead. We were out in the black a long time before we got there here, Sleeper. Things happen. The upshot is, I was chosen to take over. I guess my crew trusted me and I knew the ship. I argued, reminded them I'm no leader, and that I'm sick. But well, when service chooses you. A loud klaxon sounds, indicating the bulkhead doors are ready to open. They groan as they slide back, the metal squeals echoing through the vast ship, bouncing off its hard, plated walls. At first, all you see is darkness, and the lights go on, in huge strips that stretch back and back as far as you can see. The space in front of you, a vast bay, bigger than any you have ever seen, is empty. When we left Huff, we didn't have the time or resources to convert the entire ship. Sol begins leading you into the massive space. So much of the freight space we sealed away, shut down. But now, we have time, we have resources, we stabilized here, at least for the moment. Sol turns to you. Now is the time we make use of all of this. What are you planning? What do you think happens next for the eye, Sleeper? Sol sighs. The flux has already hit one part of the station, and from what I know, it'll hit again. On Earth, we lost everything. There isn't much time, Sleeper, but there is enough time to do something. Think of the number of people we can fit on here. The farming stacks, the housing. Hell, we can plant some of those mushrooms you love so much. Hey, you leave my mushrooms alone. I am a mushroom farmer, and I enjoy farming mushrooms. This is the way forward, the only way. We need to fill this ship with able bodies and head for the starward belt. Wait, but I thought the eye was your destination. It was, until the flux hit here. Now it's just another stop. I'm glad of the chance to resupply and salvage, but we need to go further out. I want you to help me. You know the eye, you have connections, and you can work hard, I've seen it. Sol meets your eye. I know you are like me, Sleeper. You didn't choose service, but it chose you. There are other ways? If you know them, go ahead, but I'm telling you, this is the opportunity we have now. I know it's a lot to think about, Sleeper. Trust me. Sol begins to lead you back out of the bay. But think of what we can do here. The flotilla can't last forever. We need more than just farmers to make this work. We need to build a new world for ourselves. I've heard that out there in the belt, there are people who've been setting up since the collapse, making something of their own. That's our future, tucked away in those rocks, far from all of this. Sol sighs. I didn't bring my people here just to let them die somewhere new. Sol crosses back over the threshold of the bay and signals for the operator to close it up. The door groans, and Sol waits for it to stop. Think about it, Sleeper. Sol claps an arm on your back, but don't wait too long. This is happening soon. And he leaves you there, in the silence of this vast bay, your head spinning with the thought of leaving the eye. But I want to stop the flux. I want to fight back. I don't want to run away. That's not me. Oh, we got a +3. We could upgrade something. Hang on. Do I want +2 to engage, endure, or engineer? Engineer seems to be coming up a lot. Let's do engineer. Watch now as no engineers checks come up for the rest of the game. Just watch. Just how my luck goes. Right, so what are we waiting for here? The climbing briar. Gathering evidence. Peak is compiling their data on the flux to be presented to Sol or Helene. You get the sense they are dreading a choice. That's a point. Do I show Sol or do I show Helene? I mean, I still feel that Heaven Edge have the most. They own the eye. They have all of the resources the eye has to offer, which admittedly is a little bit meek. Not quite as great as you'd think, considering everything's in their own little factions and stuff. But, you know, it's got to be better than whatever Sol can muster. But then Sol has all of the other ships in the flotilla. He has the Steppe, the Song, all those people. And they could all be helpful. Right, but right now, I think I'm actually waiting for a lot of things to just pass by. So, we have a few dice. Let's get some data. Can I use a 2 here? I can. Let's use these low rolls on data. Actually, do you know what I'm going to use those low rolls for? Gathering mushroom spores. Oh yeah. Then we'll be ready when the mushrooms when the mushrooms grow. That makes perfect sense. Worst case scenario, I get 1, and I only need 3, right? Yeah, we got 1. We got 2. It's nice. There we go. Okay, let's take a rest. Let's just rest in the Hyperdome. I'm going to use some scrap components to start repair myself slightly. Nice. Working on your own body is an unsettling but necessary act. You can feel the new components under your skin. We're going to be just a hodgepodge of just random bits and pieces if we keep this up. And let's just end the cycle, shall we? Starving again? Let's cook some mushrooms, I suppose. It's just the most cost-effective way of feeding myself now. Ah, the scrap freight is here. Do you know what? I'm gonna buy all your scrap. Money? I can buy 3 pieces of scrap, can't I? Hopefully it's scrap and not ship mine fragments. Who thought that I wouldn't want the rare drop, huh? Okay, yeah, we got scrap. Scrap again. Scrap. Lovely. And let's eat some food. Oh, that's almost done. 2 more turns till the sidereal horizon moves, and I guess we're going to try and take it over, I imagine. I got some feelings of rebellion brewing. Let's use the reels. What can I use my dice for? What do I need here? I'd like to not be completely wasteful. I guess I could use the low rolls on Yataghan data and Heaven Edge data, right? That's the most cost-effective way of doing that. That's 20 echoes per run. That'll pay for my savage addiction to scrap components. Pass that, bypass that. Right, that leaves me with... Oh, there's another one here. Another Heaven Edge data. Don't mind if I do. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Should I go get more spores? I guess if I just get loads of spores, I won't have to worry about it so much. It'll just be a case of keep the Avery ticking over. Let's do that. That makes sense to me. This will get us 2 spores. There we go. Now we have 8 spores. Refill that thing quite nicely. Rest again. I'm going to go feed the cat though, because it's just, just what we do. Just what we do. Feed the stray. End the cycle. Has something happened today? Yeah, oh, hello, somebody's come to me. Sleeper, Peak is waiting for you in the corridor. It's time. Peak looks pale and disheveled, with heavy marks under their eyes and strands of hair sticking to their face. For what? Peak smiles weakly. Nice try, but we can't dodge this. Peak holds up a thumbnail-sized drive. All the data I've compiled on the flux event, the effects of the wave, and the structures that hide within it, is on here. You look at the tiny drive, a casket of dark secrets. I've annotated it to the best of my ability. Anyone should be able to understand the threat, the potential in this. Peak sighs. It makes for grim reading. Without intervention, the Eye will suffer a cascading collapse of systems, just like the colonies of Ember's moons. Intervention? Peak grimaces. That I'm still working on. Peak looks at the drive. This shadow in the flux, this protocol, is so hard to pin down. It adapts to any countermeasure I have tried to deploy. It's like trying to hold water in a cage. It slips straight through. I mean, there has to be a way. Peak closes their hand around the drive. We need help, Sleeper. This is about everyone on this station, they sigh. We have to set up a meeting to tell someone who can do something about this. Helene? Perhaps, Peak pauses. If anyone can protect the Eye, it's Heaven Edge, but their internal politics will make it hard for them to act. Will they even listen to us? Or perhaps, Peak adds thoughtfully, we've been thinking about this all wrong. Peak's eyes glint. Why make a choice when we can tell both of them? Why pick a side when the only side in this entire thing is one we all need to take? Peak speaks as they think, their words barely keeping pace with their thoughts. We need to resist this together, or we will fail. We need everyone on board, Sleeper. Peak smiles. That is the only way. We send the data to both. You are right, that's the best way. Peak smiles. I'm glad you see it too. They look away. Another flux event is coming. I'm sure of it. And I'm not sure we can survive it without help. Peak opens their hand and holds the drive out for you to take. You need to do this, Sleeper. I can't. You know Sol, you know Helene, they trust you. To them, I'm just another spacer. But you are part of this place. Hearing someone else say it hits you hard. You are part of the Eye. Peak is right. But right now, that feels more like a weakness than a strength. I have set up a data relay at the cordon. It's neutral ground. Take the data and send it out to Heaven Edge and the flotilla. Once they receive it, they will come. We can be sure of that. You will meet them there and take them through it all. No one could do a better job. They tuck a strand of hair behind their ear. Okay. Peak tentatively puts a hand on your shoulder. Thank you, Sleeper. I know this is hard, but we have to move forward. We can't keep this to ourselves anymore. They take a step back, looking thin and pale in the harsh station light. Come talk to me once it's done. And they slip away into the Eye. Well, that's going to be a fun conversation. What happened to those guns? I'm still waiting for that storyline. The one where the guns got stolen from the ship, and we don't know where they are, and we're about to cause panic, and there are guns. There's no way this ends well. I'm assuring this is at the quarantine, right? There's the data. Once you send the data, episode Purge and the final series of events on the Eye will begin. After this point, you will not be able to return to complete other drives and other endings. Make sure you're ready. Okay, we won't do that until we've done Lem and Mina's quest. Which means there might be an episode of me just passing time, I guess. But I'm going to end this episode here. And I'm going to thank you all very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Your comments are greatly appreciated. Thank you again to the members of the channel and the coffee supporters. It means the world to me, and it helps keep the channel going. And as always, we'll see you next time.